Hey guys, how's she going today? Well, Juan went and picked up our year's supply of hydraulic oil and engine oil, diesel engine oil, 1540. So we're just unloading it out of the back of his truck. We gotta go pick some other stuff up now. There we go. So we're gonna make a backstop on the second stone picker that you haven't seen yet. So we're gonna go pick up some iron and come back and do some fabricationing. So we'll talk to you in a few. Oh, and by the way, there's Antoine's good truck. If you ever see him out and about in Weyburn with his honey, you can stop him and pester him. He'd probably really appreciate that. I just showed them what your truck looks like if they ever see you in Weyburn with your honey, so they can stop and have a visit with you. I said you'd probably appreciate that. Right? Probably. You say more than one word, or you just shake their hand and stand there in silence and smile. Just like, be like the Stig. 46 here, so we can get the service truck out, because we gotta bring it to town for safety. So we'll see what she has to say here. It's not very warm out today, like +4. Trailer's pulling on it here. There we go. See, this thing's behind it, and there's a hill here, and it's trying to drag against the park. There, that's better. So I'm gonna step this out of the way. Man, I wish this was our trailer. If anyone knows of a little pup trailer like this for sale for a reasonable price, let me know. I would like one for behind the Freightliner. Oh, and that's another thing. We had the 895 in the shop here the other day to work on the brakes. Come on, go in the park. There. And as you know, I painted it there and had some decals for it. So I got the stickers put on, most of them. Doesn't that look good? Beside the 835, you really see how nice that paint is. But I'll show you up close here on another time when things are in the shop and whatnot, because it's too cold out right now to walk around and look at things. So that wind is really shitty. It's like a friggin' hurricane. It's probably blowing, what, 50 kilometers an hour? So what's that in miles? Like 30? So I'm gonna go in the shop now and do some manufacturing on that stone picker. So we'll talk to you again here in a few. God damn it. Oh. One of our beacon lights is burnt out, but oh well. Well, Antoine's on his way to town with the service truck, but I had to come here and get a couple little light bulbs. There's a couple that are burnt out on the truck on the clearance lights we noticed just now. They must have just burnt out or since our trip hauling hay, because they were all working in the shop here. But we'll change them out and it'll be good to go again. But I figured I'll make a little wrap up for the video here and show you what's going on. But Dad welded those on because I can't weld with a stick welder to save my fucking life, so he's got those welded on. I drilled the holes out for that 1-inch shaft, and then Antoine cut a sheet of plywood, and that's going to go in there. Well, exactly the same as how that one's made is how it's going to be. Got the tabs welded on. I drilled the holes in them. Just got to lay it on the piece of plywood tomorrow now and drill the holes in the plywood, and it'll be good to go. And then this was broken. It's supposed to be threaded, but the threads are pulled out, and so that spring here is supposed to go like that. And then with those threads, it's how much tension, so we set it where it needs to be, and Dad welded that with the stick welder. Some special rods for cast. You can see how it's kind of a bronze color. There's special, fairly expensive rod for welding that, and it's cast, so you get her really nice and hot with the torch and weld it, and then he wrapped it with some insulation so it doesn't cool off too fast, so it doesn't crack. And what else? This stone picker's done, greased everything, and oiled the chains up. It was this cylinder here that had the issue in it. One of the O-rings was blowing out again, and put a new one in it. We'll see, hopefully it lasts longer than the other ones. It's got 2 new wheel bearings back here in this, and a new tire, because the old one was not in very good shape, and it's a fucking thing to have to try to change out in the middle of the field, so figured I'll try to stay ahead of the curve and change it while it's in the shop here. And there's 1 new tire here and a new wheel bearing as well, and then all the rest of them we took apart and repacked and tightened up, greased, checked the oil, good to go. There's a few people talking about this thing in the comments section there. It's a matic model 57, like we had said, and it will lift. Like, that'll dump your rocks and you can reach into a 3-ton truck. As long as the sides aren't too tall, it'll reach into a 3-ton truck to dump. It was the biggest stone picker there was when it was made in the 80s, and it's still one of the very biggest yet. So it makes picking rocks fairly quick. Especially when you don't have to go dump every 10 minutes because of a little tiny box on it. So it's a PTO drive. This one over here is a ground drive. I'll just try to get over here and give you a kind of a comparison. See how big that is compared to that. But this is a ground drive. I know there's quite a few people that aren't familiar with what a stone picker is at all. That spring that we were talking about over there. You can see how these ones are. Goes in here, and that's what gives you your tension on your bats. When you pick a rock, it'll have a little bit of give to it and then fire the rock up where it needs to be, and it goes in that one there. But the ground drive is all on this side. Uses a single 80 chain off the back of the wheel here on the hub. There's a sprocket, comes up to a drive, and there's this clutch here, and you just want to go right this way like that, and you shift it, pushes that sprocket over, holds it there, and then turn it like that, disengages it. So that is how that works. And then that chain, of course, runs up to another sprocket, drives the bat, and then there's two cylinders, one on each side. Pushes down, lowers the grate. While you're driving, rock comes, bat hits it up into the back here, and then you suck it in to lift it, and to dump you push it all the way down. Grate pushes, cylinder keeps pushing, dumps it out. Yeah, pretty well exactly the same setup here, only it's all one system, 3 cylinders, sorry. One's here, runs the grate up and down. You push it all the way down, cylinder comes out, hits the end of its stroke, oil bypasses, and then it comes to these two, and up it comes, way up, and that's what this wheel back here is for. When that gets way up here and behind and dumps, keeps it from flipping over on itself. So, but this is one of the very first ones, and the later ones, instead of having this walking beam tandem axle, it just has a single big tire, which was a way better setup, because these, when you turn, it has a tendency to drag, well, typical tandem axle. So, but works good most of the time. Works real good until it doesn't, but anyway, it's ready to come out of here as soon as we finish that tomorrow. And then if it's a half nice day, the air seeder's coming out. So I guess we'll talk to you guys here in the next one. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more. See you guys later.